Hello there, thank you for clicking on this video and welcome to week 21 of Project 52, where the plan is to produce 52 tracks in 1 year. And this week, as I said, we are starting week 21, so let's get right into it. Alright, so let me show you what I've done so far for this week's track, and you can probably see right away that we have very little red. And if you can read the text here, the red is for drums. So this week's track is going to be not quite drumless, but there are not going to be that many rhythmic elements. So the main idea this week is this piano loop melody that I came up with. I thought that was really cool. I don't usually write these sort of tracks, and I was very pleased that I was able to do something like this. After that melody has played for a couple of times, I add this sort of bell sound on top of it, which sounds like this, together with the piano. And then we have this main section where we add a lot of just supporting elements. For example, a bass, which sounds like this on its own. I'll not show you every individual element this week because there are not that many of them and I don't know if that's very interesting. So I'll just play you the full track as it is at the moment, and then let's move forward into writing the rest of the track and try to actually finish the track today. That's my plan, at least. So that's the idea. Let's try to finish the arrangement. I don't know if this week we are even gonna have that many tracks. I don't know if we need to add any more elements. We just need to write a story out of the elements that we already have. Okay, that's kind of lame to just do the same thing with a slight variation to the melody, but let's start with that. If it works and we can introduce some B section, I don't know what it's called, you know, a section after this one here, where things are noticeably different, then we might be able to keep things interesting. Let's start with this and try to add one additional layer to the piano layer. I kind of like that. Maybe we'll not do this sort of chorus type thing again. after all, maybe we can do something different here. I want some more energy for the first notes of the bass. Okay, I spent 20 minutes, perhaps, on that one sound, and then only now I listen to it with all the other elements, and it doesn't work at all. So I'm gonna try to design a new type of sound. You know what? I'm not gonna even try to design it myself. I'm just gonna find a preset that works. Okay, I'm gonna try to do something different to get me out of this loop that I'm now at the moment, where I'm like stuck in this one section, or even not even a section. I'm stuck in this one little sound that I thought would sound cool, but I haven't been able to find a sound that I heard in my head. So I'm just gonna take a step back and reevaluate the section that we are working on, and if we actually need that sound that I have spent so many tens of minutes on. I listened to the track from some middle section until the point that we are working on, and then we could get a better idea of what we actually need in there. Might not need the bass thing that I was trying to do. It could be nice if I just could make it the way that it would work, but I'm just not able to do it at the moment. So one thing that I thought of is that we could try to add some sort of acoustic, like some sort of orchestral instrument on top of the piano, like, I don't know, a violin or something. Are we able to find a new layer for the drums? Like just hit the same time, nothing too fancy, but just one more layer. Oh, that's a nice one. The first one that I tried. And then just a lot of reverb. Did it go again? This might be too drastic of a difference, like too big of a change as for the chords, but we'll see. Oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I really want to finish the track today because I might not have time to film tomorrow, but I'm just stuck. I have zero inspiration today. It sucks, but we'll keep pushing. I'll try to record for a little bit more. Yeah, that's too much. It's too big of a difference. I shouldn't have spent the time again, but let's think of something else. What else can we do here? Okay, I might be onto something here. Ah, so close. Oh, that actually works. Okay, sorry about that again. I have no idea at what point my audio recorder stopped recording. This same thing happened last week. I don't know if it's the batteries or I don't know what happened, but we are back. So I don't know at what point the recording stopped. So I don't know the last thing that you saw, but I think I have the arrangement ready now. I'm not totally sure. For example, I'm not married to this section that we have here. It's a bit different than all the others, which is cool, but I don't quite know if it's a good thing or not. So let me just show you quickly of some of the latest things that I did, because as I said, I don't know what was the last part that you saw. We now have this full section here before the outro where we have a lot going on and the chords change a bit. So let me play that part to you and also maybe the outro as well. So that's that. I just now noticed that there are quite a bit of like, I don't know, transient in these notes that we have in the two layers here. So the first notes hit quite hard, so maybe we could take them down a bit in volume, I mean, for the initial hit of this section. Also the transition here could be a bit better. In the intro we have this silent moment in the piano, and I think it could work here as well. So let's try to do something like that. That could be it. Let's move on to mixing and then I'll quickly do the mastering and that should be it for this week. For mixing, I think I'm just gonna set everything to mono, listen to the full track and just notice any, or at least try to notice any details that might need a little bit of tweaking. I'm just gonna focus on EQ and volume and that's it. also made the volume of the bell for this outro because it's pretty good in other places, but for the outro I think it's a bit too loud. I think that's good enough. I was actually surprised. There wasn't many things to change, like mixing wise. I think it was pretty good. So let's just now quickly do the mastering, and that should be it for this week's track. So I think I'm gonna bring down the lows a bit and bring up the highs quite a lot, and that should be it for the EQ. And then we just maximize the volume, or the loudness, sorry. Very simple, that should be it. I think that track is ready. I'm pretty happy with the results, to be honest. I didn't spend a lot of time on this week's track, but I didn't have to. Like, I didn't feel like I should be spending more time on this. I don't want to add any more stuff just for the sake of it, so I think it should be done. Anyway, I hope you liked the video. If you have decided to take part in the Project 52 challenge, I hope you liked this week's production as well. I'd love to hear it. If you'd like to share it with others, you can join the Six Temple Discord server from the link in the description, and there we have a Project 52 text channel where each week we share the tracks and give feedback to others. It's been a blast so far, so we would love to have you there. Please consider subscribing if you'd like to see the future videos I release on every Wednesday, so be on the lookout for those. Also worth considering is liking the video, so if you liked it, be sure to do so. That would also mean a lot to me. Alright, that's it for this week's video. Here is the track for week 21 of Project 52. I hope you like it, and I also hope to see you next week for week 22, so see you then. Bye bye.